What is up, all you gamers? As per usual, welcome back to the Esports Rewind podcast. All of the weekly stories compiled into today's video that we talk about at length. Thanks to all of you guys who've been leaving comments. You got yours, Hunter?
Absolutely. We got.
Can I?
You want to go first?
Yeah, because I just want to say thanks to Joshua saying Jake looks a little ripped.
Just a little, though. Not a whole lot.
Yeah. Can you really be ripped if it's like a little ripped?
It's like, like he's trying.
He's like halfway ripped.
I don't even know how to say their name. Petite something. Who has quite a theory for us, who says, I just want to say I figured it out. HECZ is buying the Chicago spot as a whole because he wants OpTic majority to himself. Doc is getting a team in San Francisco. Guess who else is known for teams in San Francisco? Andy Miller, the CEO of NRG. Doc and HECZ look like they're a duo, but in reality, HECZ is getting Doc and Andy together to further build the league. 2022, Andy Miller and Doc will own a San Fran spot together.
Thank you guys so much for your theories in the comments. I hate to break to whoever that was. Doc is actually looking for a team in San Diego. Different sand. But hey, we love the comments.
It's all sand. All the same.
All the sands are the same. We hope you guys all enjoy the episode. Let's get it rolling. And you know, someone we've talked a lot about recently for, well, the hate he's been getting, a random accusation as well, his quitting of Valorant competitive and team time in, Ninja comes yet again back in the news as he seems to be dedicating more time to League of Legends and also a quick return to Fortnite on that stream as well. In a call with Ronaldo, he reveals to everyone during peak Fortnite just how much cash and how much money was in the space. If you guys remember, he of course broke the Twitch record for concurrent viewers at the time, playing alongside Drake, and so many other things that have really changed the space for a long time, set a lot of records that will not be touched for some time, but one of which he revealed was during his peak time in Fortnite for 1 month of his creator code, what he says making $5 million, and that's a lot of freaking zeros.
Seems to me, my first reaction was like, what? How did he make $5 million? There's so many people with creator codes. Like, everyone has them. How is that many people choosing his? But then you had to think back, because I forgot about this, but he got a creator code way before other people did. There was that time period. Now it feels like everyone and anyone has one, but there was a time period when only a few people had them. And so I imagine that's when that was like peak Fortnite. Not that many people had codes, and he ended up making $5 million in a month passively from a creator code, which is just a little bit heartbreaking for me personally, but I don't know.
I just can't imagine, like, obviously it does not come in check form, but you imagine seeing in your account or in a check from 30 days of doing nothing.
Right.
It's the most passive income possible in Fortnite, is throw your creator code out there and let your viewers and your fans do the work. 5 million, bro. You wouldn't even know what to do with that many zeros because you freaking pay rent and it doesn't even budge.
Right. It's just like, check my account. Oh, I got that little $5 million like in there too. Like, it's probably like nothing to him.
The amount of things you could buy with just that 1 month of that one form of income that wouldn't make a dent in 5 million, you could buy a couple houses and not even realize.
In that clip, was it? I don't know if this was Ronaldo talking or what. Was that him saying that he was like, that's more money than like my entire family tree has made, or like my
entire bloodline.
Yeah,
because Ronaldo's actually ranted about this before. He's told everyone just how if you're gonna base it solely off of income from gaming or gaming related, Ninja is by far and away probably your top earner. Yes, there are big names up there around him, XQC and NICKMERCS and whoever you want to pull alongside. But with that peak in Fortnite, with the Mixer deal, like, Ninja has very likely made more than any other gamer. He revealed months ago maybe making $50 million just last year with the close of that Mixer deal. So yeah, obviously doing very well when it comes time for money. Ninja claims in 1 month of a creator code he made $5 million. Just another reason why every mom out there loves Ninja. Is that what you're going for? Everyone and their mom wants a creator code for their game, you know? True. Here's the next story. And the latest and greatest in cheating scandals out there. Last week, you talked all around 2F Apex Legends. This time around, well, we still had some cheaters in games. You know, Warzone always got them, and one was randomly actually banned live on stream this past week. But not what you were expecting was a Twitch cheating scandal involving a school-like game show brought to life by Mizkif, where you invite all of these other prominent streamers, and it just so happens those streamers apparently wanted to cheat it out for from school knowledge.
I know. I feel bad. calling this a scandal or anything like that, because sometimes it feels silly to talk about, especially people on like OTK stuff and like Mizkif show, because they're so goofy all the time and they're like constantly doing like ridiculous stuff that I'm like, oh, well, part of me wants to say this isn't that serious to begin with. But then the other part is what ended up happening was they're basically on that trivia show, right? And then streamers, there's money on the line or like gifted subs on the line, decide to cheat in that trivia show, even though it's very like openly against the rules. And someone that a lot of people were pointing fingers at was HECZ, who's on the show. And she ends up saying, like, blatantly saying, like, no, like, I didn't cheat. Like, this person's just upset because they have this bone to pick with me, this kind of thing. And then later on, she comes on Twitter and she's like, I did cheat, actually.
Yeah.
And people are like, what? Like, what's going on? And then we have other people who are like, they cheated too, and they cheated too. And some people are coming forward, some people aren't and are still denying the claims. But at the end of the day, they are cheating on a live, quote-unquote, Twitch event.
Yes, and I know this is different, okay? I want to preface with that, but it's just a weird, wild thought that comes into your mind because technically gifted subs were on the line. So we referenced someone like XQC who cheats during a Twitch event, which is clearly different because that is a Twitch event live streamed on Twitch, which he chose to cheat on live stream.
Right.
For an event. So to what extent, though, you're also not allowed to hack or cheat in video games while live streaming on Twitch. So how does this kind of fit into that, where all of these streamers are live streaming and the game show itself is being live streamed on Twitch, and you have people like HECZ admitting to cheating where there's also money on the line? I hope you guys can understand where is this like bannable?
Well, I know,
because
I can see the comments at this point saying, "Okay, Officer Jake, like we know
freaking
you're
dude.
just trying to get people in trouble."
I'm
Not,
just
and
trying
I know you're
to
not doing
keep
that.
my job. All right.
Right, just opening discussion. I understand. I'm just saying, I know what the comments are going to be already.
I don't think they should be banned, but I think it's a good question to ask because
Twitch, you should ask this question: should you ban these people? Yes or no?
oh my god! And then if they do get banned, it's like, oh, Jake, a freaking snake.
Yeah, he's the one who called him out. But no, I don't know what you can really do at the end of the day. You know, like obviously, I'm not sure Twitch is gonna come in and have any action on something like this
hope not.
because it's like, well, this is their it's just their little made up game show. It's not even
it's on OTK to issue punishment,
and it's not like they're cheating in a game. Technically, you know, like they're not cheating in league.
That's where it's a hairy
they're not
line.
ruining. I would guess. This is total Hunter assumption here, but I would guess that one of the biggest reasons that Twitch doesn't want any sort of cheating or hacking on their platform is because it would ruin relations with game developers, and then they wouldn't want it to be streamed. And so in this case, it's like, well, they're not ruining any relationships with anyone, and so the only people who are upset about it, really, like we saw Asman ranting about it and being like blacklist them. We don't want them in any of our events. We don't play with them. We don't associate with them anymore because they decided to cheat in our event, even though we told them not to.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. If you want to relate it back to the XQC and Twitch Rivals event, Twitch Rivals was like, we don't want to see you for 6 months. Like you cheated. You can't be back for a certain amount of time because we can't encourage that behavior. Along the same lines, yes, obviously OTK is a goofy group. You know, they can do whatever they want, and they definitely ride the line of doing some crazy goofy things. So maybe that you would think this would not offend them, but when it comes time for having a legitimate game show, you obviously don't want to let people come back and all be cheating and looking at their side screens and looking up what this freaking chemical compound is, whatever it might be.
And it's like, why? Like, why even cheat on that? Like, we're all just like playing a trivia game show, having fun with other streamers, you know, networking. People see you in other audiences. And then you got to go and cheat. And like, come on.
There was a lot of allegations around Amaranth, and I will say her response being, no, I did not cheat, and I didn't get gifted subs from it. For me, the adding on the gifted subs part is like, are you trying to so if it's only wrong if you cheat and you actually won, or because that's what I took it weird.
It's okay. I would assume that it was probably because she had so many people like being like, you cheated just so you'd get gifted subs, like you wanted like the financial gain, like that's why you cheated. And so she's like, well, I didn't cheat. Also, I didn't even get gifted subs, so that's not a good argument for me personally.
Yeah, and now you have Mizkif being like, well, she says she didn't. I know it looks suspicious, but I really got to trust her word.
Yeah.
Either way, the latest Twitch cheating scandal is really not a scandal at all. And an ongoing discussion we've been talking about for months and months is the NICKMERCS and Huskers beef reaching a bit of a breaking point because it certainly had died out. You know, they had their jokes and jazz back and forth for a while. We talked about it a lot.
Many times. We talked about it so many times.
Oh, man. It was just like, it's like almost Yeah, we cover a lot of stories a lot of times, and by the end of it, it's like, oh my gosh.
Well, they keep bringing it up, so
Yeah,
we're going to keep bringing
it's
it
like,
up.
I can't help myself,
Right.
especially when there are updates out there. Unfortunately, so Huskers posting a picture with a female, which led to a lot of, I would say more of the diehard NICKMERCS fans going after her, which was just incredibly sucky to see because I don't think any streamer out there wants their viewers to be fighting that kind of battle.
Right.
Like, it's no longer a direct beef between Huskers and NICKMERCS. When you bring in third-party members who aren't involved at all, it's kind of like, what are you doing? You can be a fan of someone, but that's just like a next-level fandom that I don't think anyone really respects. As a streamer, you're not ever going to be, okay, target their family, target their friends, go after their livelihoods.
Right.
But it's obviously been a pretty toxic back and forth, this leading to an update from Huskers where he posted about the entire situation and now many responses from NICKMERCS, which kind of led to the fact where he apologizes to the lady and he's like, I'm not apologizing to Huskers. We still got freaking stuff between us.
I'll say I think some people, most content creators, like you said, are not going to, like, they don't want their fans to be, like, hateful people in any way. Some people might passively encourage that on accident, but I don't think Nick is one of those people that, like, from everything he's ever said, every way he's ever acted, you can tell Nick's not the kind of person who, and he clarifies this in his stream of saying, like, we are not those kind of people. Like, we do not want to go after, like, this girl didn't have anything to do with this whole situation, and, like, just flaming her, like, does nothing for any of us. And, like, you can tell Nick does feel bad about that, which I appreciate personally. And then I, at least, probably just because we've talked about it so many times, found it kind of funny when he was like, oh, yeah, but Husker's like, I don't care. Like, he deserves all of that, like, whatever. And, like, he was just so blunt about it, I feel like, in the long run, which I'll say, like, I don't think either of them can really be upset in the situation because they both talk trash. Like, that's just part of, like, if you talk trash to someone and they talk back, like, then you're both opening yourselves up, especially in the public sphere. Like, you should know, both of those people should know that you are going to get flack from the fan base if you're talking trash about them on stream.
Yeah, and I definitely have, I've gotten a few comments about, you only side with NICKMERCS. I've tried to ride the line here, but it's tough because this literally has been a trash battle. You know, they've said jokes and jabs back and forth. Unfortunately for Huskers, NICKMERCS clearly has the bigger audience and swing, and they have not given up, which I do feel bad for the guy because he gets every single day constantly in his replies. You have a very, very big MFAM community. It's like the XQC people that will probably never let these things drop. You remember XQC versus Ninja?
Right.
Ninja made some very logical arguments, but he got ratioed, and so people thought, all right, XQC wins. I can't imagine dealing with the stress of how many XQC fans just continue to go after him. It's unfortunate because obviously no one agrees with the harassment the woman got in this circumstance,
Right.
but you also just re-dig back up all of those old wounds that I would say, yeah, I don't know. It's really tough, and I can only imagine. Like, it sucks because we've talked about it. I enjoy the discussion. It's gotten to a point where it's just it's gone too far.
Yeah.
But
I think it got to a dangerous point, and like you said, digging it back up, Huskers could have came out and just been like, hey, like, your people are like hating on this person who has nothing to do with it. That's messed up, which he did do. But then he also included all of this other stuff, which, as Nick points out, feels a little bit like just playing the victim in the situation of like, hey, you also signed up for this. Like, we both decided to talk trash. And so, like, yes, I am sorry about the third party, but the rest of it, like, we're both equal parties in this. We both decided to do this, and you're bringing it back up. And so I'm bringing it back up too, type deal.
Yeah, I agree, because they both have said things and then responded to things that have been said as well. Right. It seems to me that both have just have responded to that kind of hate and flack differently. And I will say, obviously, NICKMERCS has probably gotten a lot less of that backlash due to audience size. So, yeah, no one agrees with how far some people are taking it. At the end of the day, it's hard not to talk about when you have a top Warzone earner and a top Call of Duty streamer going back and forth several times. It's enjoyable to see the timeline of it. Unfortunately, it's reached stages which is just a bit too far. But what do you guys think? Probably not the last time we'll talk about it. But, hey, now we just need a Warzone LAN where both of these guys just show up and we see this trash talk in person.
I don't know how that's going to go.
Oh, man. Yeah. Anyway, next one. And someone we have not talked about in a long time because she was actually maybe collabing with both FaZe Clan and 100 Thieves. That being Bella Porch, one of the biggest TikTokers in the entire world. We are talking about tens of millions of plays every single TikTok. She's ginormous. She partook in actually both 100 Thieves and FaZe Clan events. Most recently, 100 Thieves in their Uno tournament. You saw Ray and Bella Porch side by side, which makes a lot of sense now as Bella Porch's latest music video, her first one, called Build a Biatch, which is not the actual word used, actually featuring Valkyrae. I can't talk today.
It's all right. It happens to the best of us. But she did release her song, which I thought was pretty good. And I think a lot of the comment section agreed of like, hey, this is a TikToker whose song isn't actually like awful.
No, it was not bad.
Like, it's actually kind of catchy, and the production quality on it was amazing, the video, I think. And so go ahead.
This was better than Valkyrae's first music video appearance as Corpse with MGK. This song was better than that MGK song.
Yes.
Is that controversial to say?
No, I don't think so. I would agree with you. And it was cool to see Ray in this video. Like you said, Bella Porch is the third biggest TikToker in the world right now, which I would say is no small feat, like with the amount of people consuming TikTok and the amount of kids consuming TikTok.
You can hate all you want, but
on the app,
she's grabbing big bags.
Yes, for sure. Every single thing she posts, and she, like, at this point, I think she has her own place that she just like posts TikToks in. That whenever she posts it, it's just one big like empty room because she just has such a big place from it. And so, yes, one of the biggest, the third biggest actually, and now she has teamed up again with Ray, which is to me pretty cool to see. We saw those rumors a while back of, like, oh, she's wearing 100 Thieves gear, like, is she gonna sign to 100 Thieves? And now we get to see her with a co-owner of 100 Thieves. And to me, I mean, that makes me just wonder a little bit. Like, it starts the wheels turning of like, could we see more of this kind of stuff in the future? Because obviously I think any org that creates content based like 100 Thieves is going to recognize the value of TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you have the third biggest name on there making videos with your co-owner, it's like, that feels like something big could happen.
I mean, that's great reach. You're right. That opens a lot of possibilities for someone like Ray, who's even talked about maybe taking a step back from streaming, and all of a sudden everyone wants her in their music videos for a freaking reason, I guess. I will shout really quick, FaZe Banks is the only other co-owner, I think, in esports that has actually like made an appearance in a music video, but his was like brief. It was super brief in an MGK video. You got Ray literally being the star of the music, like what they center the music video around, no matter who she's trying to play. So yeah, it's a great thing for Ray, it's a great thing for Bella, and it's a great thing for 100 Thieves to all of a sudden announce a co-owner, and now she's just in giant productions. So obviously some clear big steps taken by Ray, to which she is now further teased even more things coming sometime soon.
She's just getting more and more mainstream at this point.
She's coming more and more mainstream.
No.
We suck at this, dude. What?
Is that what I said? Mainstream. I'm so sorry.
Oh, man. Ah! And also, speaking of the... I almost said speaking of the devil. Jesus Christ, dude. And also, speaking of female creators out there, this past week, 100 Thieves continuing to make their moves. I got a question for all of you guys, because at first for me, it was Gen G to have the best, I would say, variety and strictly number of female creators under their lineup. That has been taken over in terms of sheer, I would say, viewership power by 100 Thieves, their latest signing, that being Leslie or Fuslie. And also alongside that in the past month, they got Kaide. It seems very obvious the direction they are going so far this year. It was teased by Ray that, hey, like, we want more creators and we want more female creators, because Ray is currently still the most watched female creator in the space at this point in the year, and she has a lead that looks like it's going to continue this year. And alongside, of course, Nico as well as Brooke AB, it's looking like 100 Thieves, for viewership alone, by far now has the best female lineup of any esports organization.
You triggered a thought for me when you said that. Was so Ray becomes co-owner. Ray says she wants to stop streaming a little bit and back up a little bit. One of the biggest female creators in the game, the biggest on YouTube for sure. I think the biggest in general. I believe
so, yes.
Says she wants to kind of take a step back from streaming, though, so they start signing more female creators, so maybe they can lift them up and they become the bigger female streamers, and so Ray can like back up a little bit. So who knows? But I agree, they have such a like great lineup. I think like Kaide, I think was an awesome signing. Seeing Leslie get signed, like neither one of those, I didn't see either one of those two signings coming like at all. Brooke has been there for a while. Nico now has been there for a while, and so it's cool to see, like you said, just the sheer amount of reach I feel like they have into all of these different spaces with these female creators.
Yeah, and I would say, because when you look at and you commonly ask people the most popular gaming organizations, if we're going to focus on gaming in general, you think of 100 Thieves and you think of FaZe Clan. And if I'm 100 Thieves, I'm going, all right, in our camp, what is the one way we can really differ from FaZe Clan right now? They're both kind of going towards, they obviously reach outside of gaming, but you look at FaZe Clan and their female lineup is non-existent.
Right.
And so if I'm 100 Thieves, I'm like, we got Ray.
Butters?
Yes, for Atlanta FaZe, which technically isn't even tied to FaZe Clan. And I love Butters.
That's the only one I could think of.
And she does a fantastic job.
Right.
But outside of that, you're right. I mean, they do not have an existing female lineup. So if I'm 100T and we got Ray, the most watched female, I'm like, yo, let's just keep on pushing this pedal.
Right.
And to your point, see who we can build up next. I think Kaide is really, in the Valorant space alone,
especially
has a real chance to.
Her on her own, 100%.
That's her own personality.
Then add the duo
Of
that is her
Tansy boy.
boyfriend. And it's like, whoa, what a power couple, bro. Like,
Yeah, I know.
And I know this isn't really in the cards, but imagine 100 Thieves signing him and then them both being
That just wouldn't be fair.
part of 100 Thieves.
That would not be fair. I don't know if that brings any issues because we don't typically see dating inside organizations that we know of.
Maybe though, maybe Tins could live in the house.
Okay,
like
because I was thinking Symph and Brooke.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You can live in the house like Symphony does,
Symphony
but like
and
not actually be a part of 100 Thieves.
Symph and 10 just become the boys who live with 100 Thieves because their girls are there. And
Just the groupies, basically, at that point.
And meanwhile, freaking Symphony's not attached right now, but you got freaking Tens who's kind of with Cloud9, kind of with Sentinels, and C9 and Sen are like, what are you doing, bro? You're
Right.
promoting.
That's facts. I don't know, but it'd be so weird to see him in there. But like you said, Kaide strong already on her own, and then add Tins, add all these other female creators, and it's like, I mean, they're ramping it up.
Yeah, they are killing the game. We'll see if they continue the female signings, but certainly other big things have been teased from 100 Thieves. If they are doing one thing really, really well right now, it is the female talent. So I guess a question to all of you guys, if not 100 Thieves for best female lineup, if not Gen G, who else is out there right now? And going to leave this one out there for the last viewers on the podcast, because if you guys are real viewers, you're listening still, and I need your help. I just don't like talking about these kind of things. Oftentimes I get scared before I talk about OpTic in any slightly not positive light, because it's a diehard fan base that just it hurts to take the wrong stance against.
Which you seem to be doing fairly often these days, where you just take the wrong stance against, which I guess any stance against OpTic to them is the wrong stance. Like if you're not like praising them and lifting them up, which we can't always do here. We can't always.
I do always do.
Right.
I literally.
That's true.
People tell me I suck the D all the time of like 10 different organizations.
So many streamers.
It's
so many
my
awards.
job to suck the. Anyway. This past week, OpTic continued to be in a great discussion. All right, I tried to paint this as a totally like you can have your side. Like I think it's understandable where both sides were coming from. It was after a FaZe versus OpTic series, which did not go OpTic's way, where a current marketing member for Atlanta FaZe has a tweet gassing up FaZe Simp in that final game against OpTic, and some OpTic people took this as a jab at FaZe or a jab at OpTic, which is understandable. He also formerly before that, before working for Atlanta FaZe, worked for OpTic. So HECZ replied to him saying, previously at OpTic, yeah, sure. Obviously a bit bitter by the fact he was tweeting kind of a jab at a company he supposedly did previously work for. At face value, I get where you're coming from. It was actually later on stream HECZ responding around that situation and kind of continuing the whole vibe of, when I wasn't at OpTic, that was a fake OpTic. So you say you previously worked at OpTic, but I wasn't there, so you never worked for OpTic. Which I would also say, rightfully so, some people in the industry were offended by that kind of arrogance. Yeah, be careful, motherfucker.
Right, I know.
Be careful, dude.
How do I want to start this? I'll say...
Officer Lucky.
So we'll start with saying that OpTic definitely was different when it was
100%.
in charge, when like Immortals was in charge, not HECZ.
100%.
HECZ was not in the picture. Different optics for sure, but I think everyone can agree still the same organization because ownership was different, but it is still OpTic. And so to tell someone that they didn't work for OpTic when they literally did work for OpTic is a little bit like, I see where people are coming from when being upset of like, you're just being arrogant at this point, you know, like you're saying that OpTic wasn't OpTic, which we understand, but like he did work. He put in, you know, time in his life. He did have a job there. And so he did work for OpTic, but it's funny to see him get, sorry, funny's probably not a good word.
Why are you laughing
so
at this, dude?
bothered by this situation to see Hex like get upset and then take to Twitter, take to stream and be like, no. Like you never worked for me, so you didn't work for OpTic.
I also think it was additionally just poorly timed because right after Immortals, like ourselves included, that was the old OpTic. That was the fake OpTic. They made a lot of freaking bad moves without Hex there. I also think it was kind of poorly timed because this all comes around the same week that we find out OpTic is leaving NRG and Hex is trying to own it again with different partners. So there's probably some Andy Miller and NRG fans that are especially not happy with you for a guy who helped you get back OpTic, and now you are leaving, which is going to be a future discussion. But I just want to, that's where all these sides are coming from. We're never like, man, freaking hated that, bro. Like, that was disgusting. No, it's a great discussion to have, and you see all the sides around it, and you understand why there's a lot of mixed feelings about how it all went down.
And I'll even say, like, I can even see the other side of it, of like, I mean, who cares if he tweets about it or goes on stream and talks about it, you know? Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, can you really blame the guy for being like, okay, well, you just got wrecked by FaZe, and then this guy who says he used to work for OpTic is like talking about how good FaZe is, even though he used to work for OpTic, and so he's like, you didn't work for OpTic, like you weren't a part of us, you weren't a part of our crew, like don't like obviously you're a FaZe guy, you're not an OpTic guy type deal, and so like you can't really blame him. Like it's at the end of the day, I think it's all just, you know, classic trash talk, banter, people, you know, FaZe versus OpTic type deal. So I don't think anyone could be like really deeply upset.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you know, it was a slow news day. So that's why it was talked about in the first place. No, it was freaking fun discussion. Like, we enjoy hearing your thoughts and talking about this stuff. So no hard feelings either way, and I guess we'll see what the future of OpTic is. All right there, folks. We hope you enjoy Esports Rewind Wild West. Until next time, you take care of yourselves. If you guys want to follow us on social media, feel free to do so. We enjoy having you guys here on a week-by-week basis. Hunter?
Goodbye, good fellas.
Goodbye, and we'll catch you guys back here next time.
Adios.
I'm not mentally sane.